watching Sun TV, broadcasting to the world from studios in Providenciales, in the beautiful by nature Cheshire Islands. Sun TV, your source for real news as it happens.
The People's Democratic Movement files a court case contesting Dr. Ed Smith's eligibility for the Cheshire Hall and Richmond Hill seat. Businessman John Phillips reacts to being the governor's appointed member in the House of Assembly, and 16 Cubans withdrew their court challenge to being held for a prolonged period at the detention center. These are the headlines for today's Sun TV News. I'm Leslie Garland, and thanks for watching. Although the Progressive National Party has been officially declared the winner of the November 9th general elections by an 8-7 margin, the People's Democratic Movement isn't accepting the result without a fight. The PDM has officially filed a petition in the Supreme Court challenging the result in the Cheshire Hall and Richmond Hill constituency, which was won by the PNP's Amanda Missick, who defeated the PDM's Oral Silver by 30 votes. The People's Progressive Party, Dr. Ed Smith, received 58 and was effectively the spoiler in that seat. The PDM action also relies on Section 50, subsection 1 of the Constitution, which states that each candidate for election to the House of Assembly shall, on the date of his or her nomination for election, make a written declaration to the Supervisor of Elections that he or she is qualified for election under Section 46, and that no disqualification mentioned in Section 49 applies to him or her. Further, under subsection 2, the Supervisor of Elections shall publish any declaration made to him or her under subsection 1 by the close of the next following working day. And 3, within 5 days of the publication of any such declaration, a challenge to the veracity of that declaration may be brought by any registered elector or by the Attorney General before the Supreme Court. According to sources, Silver alleged in court documents that when Smith made his declaration to the Supervisor of Elections under Section 50, subsection 1 of the Constitution on October 25, 2012, he was disqualified for election to the House of Assembly. Silver is also arguing that the Supervisor of Elections, Dudley Lewis, failed in his duty to ensure that Smith was qualified to be nominated as a candidate in the general election to be elected as a member of the House of Assembly, and that Lewis further failed to publish such candidate declarations within the time limit required by the Constitution, thereby denying opposing candidates the opportunity to challenge such nominations prior to the election. Up to the time of this report, efforts by Sun TV to get an official response from the AG chambers were unsuccessful. Former members of the interim administration Lillian Swan Missick and Scottish-born John Phillips have been appointed by Governor Rick Todd to the Turks and Caicos Islands House of Assembly on Monday, November 19th. Sun TV caught up with Phillips today, who told us that he did not know of his appointment until he received our phone call. Here's what he had to say.
I am very excited. It's a great thing. I'm delighted to take part. I think this is a very exciting time for the government of the Turks and Caicos. After 3 years of administration, we have so many opportunities to change things, improve things. I'm hoping that the elected members are as enthusiastic as I am. The naysayers on the street are convinced that the government has no power and that the British will force them to do their will. I don't believe that's true, and I think perhaps there'll be a certain level of restraint, try and stay on the rails, looking at good governance, looking at doing things right. But I think the opportunity is clearly there to reinvent the economy of the islands.
Due to the fact that Phillips was a part of the interim administration, he's adamant about not taking sides in Parliament.
And I haven't been asked to pick sides or do things. I'm told that the governor wished to appoint me because I was of some use while I served on the forum.
One of Phillips' main issues to tackle is misdirected youth.
I feel that youth are misdirected. I don't think the business community takes enough time or attention towards career development during the education process. I think kids should be looking very closely at what happens here. I think if you look at what a top chef earns in any of the big resorts, kids would find that there must be a dozen top chefs that earn more than the doctors at the hospital. I think a good car mechanic earns more than a poor lawyer. I think kids just have not had the opportunity for vocational training, for the explanation of where do you go. Many great people didn't even finish school. Richard Branston's a multi-millionaire with businesses of all kinds. Never went past high school, but has talent. And I think we have to start developing that message. Then we'll develop youth and we will improve our education system.
Along with the 15 elected members, 4 of them are to be appointed, 2 of them by the governor. The People's Democratic Movement's appointed member is former Minister of Health and Education Clarence Silver. The Progressive National Party has not named an appointed candidate up to news time. The 16 Cuban nationals who arrived to the Turks and Caicos Islands in October of this year decided to withdraw their application to fight the matter in court. The matter came up for hearing before High Court Judge Joan Joyner on Monday, November 19, 2012. When the illegal immigrants withdrew the case, which they brought on grounds that they were being held in the detention center illegally for 42 or more days without being charged. When contacted, their attorney Mark Fulford told Sun TV that the Cubans have lost the will to fight. Fulford added that his clients were allegedly threatened by a senior immigration official sometime last weekend. The 10 detainees who were initially held at the detention center will be there indefinitely until their response for political asylum is determined. The minors who are with their mothers, who account for 6 of the group, will be kept in private care but under immigration surveillance until such time. In Providenciales on Thursday, the 15th of November, officers of the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Street Crime Unit executed a search warrant which resulted in the seizure of a firearm and the charging of a 24-year-old male with keeping an illegal firearm. Also on Friday, the 16th of November, a 25-year-old male was arrested and charged by the police for possession of controlled drugs and possession of controlled drugs with an intent to supply. On the said date, while executing a warrant on a home in Q-Town, Providenciales, the male was found in possession of a significant amount of cannabis. The matter has been set for trial on the 29th of November. During the execution of a search warrant on Friday, the 16th of November, a 9mm semi-automatic weapon with a magazine containing numerous rounds of ammunition was seized. This resulted in a 36-year-old male being arrested and charged for possession of ammunition and keeping an unlicensed firearm. The male was remanded in custody until January 11, 2013 for a sufficiency hearing in the Supreme Court in Grand Turk. On Friday, the 16th of November, a 21-year-old male of Providenciales was arrested and charged by the police for burglary. This followed the investigation into a burglary that was reported on the 6th of October. The male was granted police bail and set to appear in court on Thursday, the 22nd of November. In Grand Turk on Saturday, the 17th of November, a 34-year-old male was arrested by the police for disorderly conduct at a liquor license premises and indecent language. That's our Sun TV News package for today, Monday, November 19th. Until next time, when we bring you more real news as it happens, directly to your computer, your mobile phone, or your tablet. Until then, I'm Leslie Garland. Thanks for watching.